As a Niners fan, for a while now, under Kyle Shanahan, I felt extremely fortunate. When he took over the team, the Niners, frankly, were bad. And I know I still supported them each week, but they weren't performing up to 49ers standards. When Kyle Shanahan, and more importantly, I would say Lynch took over, they were able to rebuild the team. And Kyle Shanahan was able to get the most out of this team up to this point. And while now we have a team full of star-studded players and guys like Deebo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk, all these guys start somewhere. And even some of them start as undrafted free agents. And in this video, I want to compare the two undrafted running backs the Niners picked up this offseason in Kalen LeBourne and Ronald Awatt. But before we jump into today's video, I just want to sincerely thank everyone for helping me reach 5,000 subscribers. It's truly insane. And if you guys haven't yet subscribed, it would mean a ton if you did and liked this video. With all that being said, let's jump right into the video. First, we need to talk about the Niners' legacy, or more specifically, the Shanahan legacy of having one of the most dominant run games across the entire league. And we can't really talk about this without talking about their longtime running backs coach in Bobby Turner. This guy's coached some of the greatest running backs ever, most recently CMC, but even previously. He coached one of the greatest to ever do it in Terrell Davis. So with his accolades out of the way, we need to look at these two players that Bobby Turner brought in to compete for a role on the Niners roster in LeBourne versus Awatt. Personally, I like Awatt's name more, but that's not what it's about. It's about which player actually plays better, and one of them has a lot more pedigree than one. Kalen LeBourne is the one with clear pedigree, but everything hasn't always been smooth for LeBourne. He's 5'11 and 215 pounds. He's about 10 pounds heavier than Awatt. He also ran his 40-yard dash in a blistering fast 4.45 seconds. He also put up the bench press around 23 times. Impressive for a rookie. As I mentioned, LeBourne was rated as the #1 all-purpose back in the country by 24/7 Sports and Rivals.com. He was also a 5-star recruit in the 2017 college football class coming out of Bishop Sullivan Catholic High School in Virginia Beach, Virginia. LeBourne enrolled at Florida State University in 2017. He sustained a season-ending knee injury in the second game of 2018. He redshirted as a sophomore and kind of had a breakout year, rushing for 297 yards on 63 carries. He also tailed in 10 receptions for 66 yards. But this is where things got a little rocky for LeBourne. He was dismissed from the Florida State program in 2020 for a violation of team rules. He returned to the Florida State to complete his degree, but he still had eligibility remaining to play football. He then chose to enroll in Marshall, since he did have that eligibility. And with that eligibility, he played in the 2020 season and rushed for over 100 yards in every single games. 120 yards against Norfolk, 163 yards against Notre Dame in a huge upset. Overall, through games played on November 19th, 2022, he ranked 10th nationally with 1,323 rushing yards. Going undrafted, the Niners saw a true back. On his college film, LeBourne looks frankly absurdly talented. And while many scouts decided not to draft him, I think that's mainly just because of the level of competition and not the athlete or the player that LeBourne is. I mean, he has the pedigree, everything you want in the back. And so far, during this offseason period, LeBourne looks the part. But that brings us to his counterpart. How does Awatt look? What is his career up to this point? Awatt comes in 10 pounds lighter than LeBourne at 205 pounds, but the same height at 5'11". He ran his 40-yard dash in 4.5 seconds, making him about the same speed as LeBourne. But he did have a worse bench press reps of only 16 compared to LeBourne's 23. Coming out of high school in Worth Fort, Texas, Awat was only a 2-star recruit and committed right away to playing for UTEP. Much like LeBourne, this is a smaller school like Marshall, so the level of competition also wasn't there for Awat, but the Niners have had success with guys like this. Look no farther than Jordan Mason. Across his time at UTEP, Awat appeared in 44 games during 6 years from 2017 to 2022 and registered 369 carries for 1,781 yards and 11 touchdowns. He also had 17 receptions for 235 yards. Throughout his time at UTEP, compared to a guy like LeBourne, Awat looked more like an elusive back guy, but he did show times on the film where he would just go straight out and punch the guy in the face, much like Bobby Turner loves in his running backs. But this ends up with the question, which running back will most likely have a higher level of success with San Francisco, Awat or LeBourne? For me, the choice is clear. I would rather have LeBourne over Awat. LeBourne has proven to be a nation's #1 back, and while he had a rough patch at Florida State, he was able to rebound and show why he was the nation's #1 back. And the Niners taking the flyer on him is perfect for Bobby Turner and Kyle Shanahan, who already have a star-studded offense and frankly not a lot of draft capital. I love this pickup, and I want to hear what running back you guys prefer, Awat or LeBourne.